You there. The Ivory Brigade has need of you. You look like you've got your wits about you. Care to make a bit of extra gold working for Leowin's Ivory Brigade? I've been asked by my captain to find someone who can handle themselves. We need help with a delicate situation. Deadly secrets, assassins, murder. Now apparently a counselor has gone missing. Between the war, bandits, and cultists, the Ivory Brigade is like the Nord that tries to plug a leaking cask of mead, only to realize he doesn't have enough fingers. Talk to my commander, Captain Rian Lior. You can find him just outside the city gates, trying to appease some of the nobles. Tell him I sent you, and he'll put you right to work, I'm sure.
Oh, hello. Can you come over here and help me? You look like a hardy soul, unconcerned with the prospect of death by trick, trap, or misadventure. How do you feel about helping a defenseless scholar from Gideon unearth a little history from Undertow Cavern? Oh, and can you swim? Have you heard of Phaelivon the Magnificent? He was a famous Nibonese Minotaur hunter, but his final resting place was lost to time. After years of searching, I think I finally found the site of Phaelivon's mausoleum. I hope to recover proof that this is Phaelivon's tomb. His armor, helm, and sword would do nicely. But I didn't get far before I found the cavern overrun with goblins and minotaurs, and parts of it are flooded. I'll pay you well to help me. No one in Leowin realizes that Undertow Cavern is the final resting place of a great hero. Let me secure my belongings and I'll meet you inside. Time to grab the bull by the horns and wade right in. I found accounts of Phaelivon's burial in a shining mausoleum on a hill outside Leowin. He was laid to rest with his arms and armor, relics of his many victories. This is the place, but goblins infest the caverns, and minotaurs too. You would be, I suppose. Well, Phaelivon the Magnificent had a golden helm. He wore armor of impervious mail, and he wielded a sword of exceptional sharpness. The stories say that Phaelivon had the most beautiful mail, impervious to sword, arrow, and spear. We don't know much about armor of his era, but he was known as the Magnificent. I can only surmise his armor was quite splendid. Phaelivon's sword was so sharp, it was said to be able to cut the air itself. No, that isn't right. I suppose any sword will cut air. Ah, that's it. This one could cut through armor like air. That's what I was told. As I understand it, the helm was a gift from the Lord of Leowin in gratitude for Phaelivon's many heroic deeds in Blackwood. The stories say it was fashioned in the shape of a roaring dragon's face. Well, it has been many hundreds of years. I suppose Phaelivon's arms and armor might not be much to look at now, but in any condition they would be of immense historical value. I simply know it. I suppose goblins aren't much of a surprise. They infest many caves in this region, although I had hoped I wouldn't run into any. The minotaurs I didn't expect. None have been seen so close to Leowin in centuries. That's the very question I was wondering about. Wherever they came from, these minotaurs seem very hostile. Enraged, even. I've heard all kinds of fighting inside. I think they're angry at the goblins. Do minotaurs and goblins get along? That's because it was swallowed by the earth. One night, 700 years ago, people living nearby heard a terrible sound. When they came to look in the morning, they found that the whole mausoleum had fallen into the caves underneath the hill. Because the caves beneath this hill were the site of Phaelivon's last and greatest battle. The mausoleum was a monument to his victory, as well as his tomb. Until Undertow Cavern swallowed it up anyway. Phalavon's possessions could be scattered or sunken or stuck just about anywhere in this cavern. The people of Leyawiin buried him with great honor, befitting his magnificence, but that was before the ground swallowed his mausoleum. I found accounts of Phalavon's burial in a shining mausoleum on a hill outside Leyawiin. He was laid to rest with his arms and armor, relics of his many victories. This is the place. Just the sort of place goblins love. Darksome, dank, and foul. Phalavon. His armor shone by the light of moons or sun. It's just too bad Minotaurs are enraged by shiny objects.
Come and take us!
I can just picture this sword cleaving savage minotaurs. A pity it's dull beyond use now.
That's over with, I suppose.
Imagine how many times this helm saved the heroic Phalavon's head! Except that last time, obviously.
Books are whetstones that sharpen the mind and allow it to keep its edge.
The armor, helm, and sword are all badly damaged. Skeptics might say these could have belonged to anybody. We need to find Phalavon's Horn of Magnificence to settle the question for good. But where is the horn? Why isn't it here? Phalavon's Horn of Magnificence was his greatest treasure. My grandmother told me he made it from the horn of a Minotaur lord. It had a brass cap inscribed with an intricate design. When Phalavon blew it, echoes rang from the hills for 7 days. I am. Mostly. But yes, I have a personal stake in this. Phalavon is a distant ancestor. I grew up on stories of his battles, his magic horn. Oh, could this be about the horn? Grandmother told me the horn's note drove Minotaurs mad with fear and rage. But sometimes the horn called Minotaurs to battle even when no one sounded it. Maybe the Minotaurs are here because of the Horn of Magnificence. Oh, I wondered about that too. House Vero mostly died out long ago, but they were certainly real enough. We can trace a relationship to Phalavon's line on my mother's side. There is truth to my grandmother's tales. I'm certain of it. No. No one outside my family remembers Phalavon. Almost all of the histories that recorded his deeds have been lost. Even his mausoleum vanished. But now I'm close to the proof that Phalavon really existed, and was a great hero. Did you hear that? Phalavon's horn!
That's got it!
Is there something I can... fight? Good.
I'm sure I heard the horn in this chamber. But who sounded it? Balavan's horn! Just as the stories described it. Did this goblin sound the note we heard? It looks like we can get out through here, if you don't mind getting a little wet. Finally, proof of Phalavon's legend. I'll be the talk of Gideon once I bring these trophies home. And yet, I wonder, did the goblins here cause their own troubles by meddling with Phalavon's horn? Or is it dangerous to just keep around? I want to take them back to Gideon and prove, once and for all, that my family's story is true. Fame, fortune, festivities await! But if these relics, especially the Horn of Magnificence, are dangerous, perhaps I shouldn't bring them home. You're right. Phalavon's magnificence deserves to be remembered far and wide. I'll take these historical relics to Gideon and prove the truth of my family's old legends. Thank you for your encouragement. We may be bruised, battered, and wet, but these relics tell a magnificent story. Without your help, I'd never have learned about the fate of Phalavon and the Horn. Thank you. Oh, I shouldn't forget your pay. Visit me in Gideon sometime. I hope to see you again sometime. Although I must confess, now that I've finally found evidence supporting the legend of Phalavon, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do next. Don't worry about me. I shall set out at once, and I shall neither fear, fret, nor flinch from any dangers on my road. After all, I share the bloodline of a great hero. A few generations removed, anyway.
This is a great area for harvesting.
How can I help?
Let's ride. do you think you'll make with that? Right behind you, partner.
You have my word. If the Counselor is in Leowin or the surrounding countryside, the Ivory Brigade will find her.
Hiring a common sellsword. I thought Captain Rian and his Ivory Brigade were better than that.
I watched the Counselor head off this morning, the same as every other day. She keeps to a regular schedule. That's why I came to Captain Rian straight away when she failed to show up for her meeting with these nobles.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Ivory Brigade employing mercenaries, but if you can help find Councillor Jirik, please, do everything you can. The Counselor, she's a good person.
Not now, citizen. Can't you see I have my hands full at the moment? I'm sure a guard or one of my brigadines can assist you. Why didn't you say so? Leowin's problems are legion, and now the Wood Elf Archer's predictions seem to be coming true. Damn these old Imperial secrets. Councillor Jirik has disappeared, and the Ivory Brigade is already spread too thin for my liking. The Wood Elf, Everly Sharparrow. She brought news that the Dark Brotherhood was targeting members of the Elder Council, all because of some secret of the Longhouse Emperors. We took her warning seriously, but Jirik refused Brigadine protection. With that guild of assassins, I'm not sure what to think. But Jirik is missing, and I don't have enough Brigadines at the ready to conduct a proper search. You look capable. So, care to earn some gold and help us determine the Counselor's fate? Here, let me update your map. These are places Jirik visits during her daily routine. If something befell her, it happened somewhere along this path. Meanwhile, I have Everly Sharparrow checking locations in the city. She was very eager to help. Councillor Jirik was a member of the Imperial Elder Council, back when we still had an empire. Now her title is mostly ceremonial, but she continues to assist the legates by serving as an intermediary with the local nobility. Since the collapse of the Empire and the dissolution of the Elder Council, Leowin has become an independent city-state. Countess Caro sits on the throne, but the Chamber of Legates governs the city. I suppose the Countess is technically the highest authority in Leowin, but she leaves the administration of the city to the Chamber of Legates. Leviticus, another former council elder, leads this august body, along with Tebeziko and Amhalu. Councillor Jirik is a creature of habit. Her daily routine is to stroll along the river and stop to read near a cave across the way. While Everly Sharparrow examines spots the Counselor frequents in the city, you should check these locations. On paper, Countess Caro rules Leowin, but in practice, the Chamber of Legates governs the city. Legates Tebeziko and Amhalu, and Councillor Leviticus, they handle day-to-day tasks. Me, I'm commander of the Ivory Brigade, Leowin's militia. Indeed, since the fall of the Empire, the Ivory Brigade had to redouble its efforts to replace the Imperial legions. We maintain active defenses in the north to keep the ongoing war at bay, but we have our hands full with refugees, bandits, and such. The Three Banners War. Let the alliances fight over the Ruby Throne as long as they leave us in peace. I just wish I had more soldiers to spare for this new threat that Everly Sharparrow brought to our attention. Interesting. She arrived a short time ago with a tale straight out of a mystery novel. She said that Emperor Leovik's former steward had been murdered by the Dark Brotherhood, killed over some secret pertaining to the Longhouse Emperors. Ah, then you must be the associate she was waiting for. She'll be glad to hear that you've arrived. Everly presented her evidence to Councillor Leviticus, that the members of the Elder Council were in danger. He decided the threat was credible. Counselor Leviticus has kept her close, while the two of them try to make sense of this so-called secret. I have yet to be made privy to the details. With Jirik's disappearance, I'll send Everly to check places the Counselor frequents in the city.
Captain, are you really trusting the fate of Counselor Jirik to this outsider?
Oh, why didn't Counselor Jirik heed your warnings?
If the Ivory Brigade requires mercenaries to do their job, perhaps Leowyn needs different protectors.
That should come in handy.
I heard the Great Shackle was destroyed. I hope that means the plane melt has been stopped.
Let's hit the trail.
Well?
Pico, over here. Rockgrove begs for your aid. I open my claws in humility, Wanderer. Please, stay to hear my story. Have you heard of the Soulzon tribe? Vicious and unrelenting, they wander to the swamps, attacking any they find. Now, they've fallen upon my home in Rockgrove. A horde of those impure Limphins raided the old city and seized the Zanmir. They captured so many of my kin, or returned them to darkness. Their purpose hides from us. But our Stone Talker claims he recognized their leader, Basse. With a stiff tail and bared abdomen, I beg for your aid. Please, gather a force of your strongest allies. Travel to Rockgrove and drive out the Sulzan. Defend what is left of my tribe, and they will surely reward you. My gratitude fills every pond in the marshes. Perhaps with your aid, what remains of my home can be salvaged. Rockgrove lies southeast of here, or you may take my cart. Speak to Immaka when you arrive. She can offer you the necessary guidance. We heard rumors of Sulzan crawling through the marsh, but thought perhaps they might spare us. Foolish. The attack was swift and ruthless. Our warriors held them off, while some escaped and rallied at the city entrance. Their goals hide among the worms they call friends. I know little of Sulzan desires, and had hoped never to learn. Stories drift to me about brutal sacrifices, bloodshed for the glory of chaos. But who can know the truth? Ah, perhaps you have not traveled that far south. The old city is a sight to behold. The finest mud puddles in this region, and the stonework amazes any who visit. Most of us live in a village just outside, so that we can keep an eye on the Zanmir. It stands upon large vents of scalding steam that occasionally burst into large geysers. It's a rare occurrence, but they can threaten the structures of the Zanmir. Some of us work to keep it intact when an eruption damages the stone. One of our village guards, though now she may be our sole remaining defender. She protected us as we ran from the initial attack. After we found safe haven, she sent me to call for aid. Dust on Scales, the sinew and veins of our tribe. He serves as conduit between the Hist and Rockgrove Zonmir. He knows a great deal about the old city's secrets. You should seek out his guidance.
The tension in the air is almost too much to bear. Either we must run or face our deaths. While I may avert my claws in greetings, I promise they still are sharp. Come, Ojel. Speak. How did you arrive here? Especially at such a time as this. Oh, so he made it to safety? Such some blessed news in a gloomy moment. Though I expected him to send one of our allies. No matter. You have come, and that is what matters. At this point, I should appreciate any help we can get. Our stone talker, Dust on Scales, claims to know who led this attack. If true, he may have an idea of how to reclaim our home from these impure tail lifters. Speak to him. He is tending to one of our wounded, and I am grateful for your aid. When the sun rose, I told my mate that I could taste toxins on the wind. He dismissed my fears. then this happens. I wish he were here for me to gloat. Dust on Scales knows the Zanmir well. His guidance will be invaluable for your efforts. Guards, warriors, hunters. Our tribe sees them as all the same role. But yes, that is my duty. When I look around, it seems I may be the last one. I know the claws of my root kin sunk deep into Sulzan Scales. They fell to keep the tribe alive. Rock Grove? You mean Krona Konu? I forgot that the dry-skinned tongue enjoys placing its words where they do not belong. Before this, only the breeze disturbed the grasses. Our tribe watched over the Zonmir, and the walls kept us safe. Not of this severity. We really only trained warriors out of tradition. Mostly they would hunt our food. A great sorrow that we have lost them all to the Sulzan. Perhaps if you manage to drive out these invaders, we shall know peace again.
You can go now, Root Brother. Lie back. Rejoin the One, as all things must.
I do not fear this, Root Brother. But I do regret.
Zuth, his soul? What is this?
I can see the Sulzan out there doing terrible things. I keep expecting them to attack at any moment. I bare my fangs at the thought of falling without a fight.
The Sulzan can strike at any time. We must be prepared, but we have so few survivors.
For all the monsters and beasts that roam the swamps, I never expected my own kind would make me fear for my life.
Did you need something?
What do you think you'll make with that?
Pardon me. You're not the counselor. Apologies. I heard you stumbling about and thought it might be Counselor Jirik. Oh, no one important, I assure you. I'm simply one of the counselor's aides. I help her with paperwork mostly. Run errands, that sort of thing. She initially refused the captain's offer, but she received a letter that made her uneasy. Last I saw, she was headed back to the city by way of the Eastern Gate. But she never returned to her manor, so I came to look for her. Please, find her.
That's the last of them.
You've got a knack for stumbling across those things. Anything useful? Let's hit the trail. That should come in handy.